Hi everyone, I hope you're well. This is CoinsKid. I'm just going to take a look at this quick fractal on Bitcoin from the previous bull run. You know, I always say price action, price action, price action. If you do look in the previous history in the price action, you can see sort of patterns, not always playing out, but they do sort of give you a guidance as to what can potentially happen when we have these corrections and these pumps and the levels of a drop backs and all that kind of thing. You know, you just look at the past performance, not necessarily to guarantee future results, but it just kind of gives you an idea of sort of the trading psychology of Bitcoin, okay, and various other crypto projects. So there's a lady I follow on YouTube, and she brought this to my attention. She's really, really good. You make sure you go and check her out, okay, and give her a subscription. I'm going to drop the link to her YouTube channel in the description of this video below. Very knowledgeable lady. She knows what she's talking about. She brought this to my attention. It's a fractal really from the 2017 bull run. So on Bitcoin, I think I've bought the multi-chart lay up here. This is a current chart on current price action on the left here, Bitcoin. As you can see, we're correcting at the moment, just bouncing off that EMA. But aside from that, on the right, this is the bull run from 2017. And you can see a similarity here. This is from, if I drop this down, so this is in September, October of 2017. Okay, I know we're not quite in September, October 2021, but you can sort of see the trajectory. And basically, what it is this just take a zero off what we are here, or add a zero on what that is there, and you'll see what I mean. It's very interesting. So basically we went up like this, okay, and then we had that correction there. This is on the right, don't forget, this is the 2017 bull run. So we went up there, had that correction there, we come back down, we actually fell through the 20 and the 55 here on the daily time frame, because this is a daily time frame, guys. We fell down, but we come back up, and when we come back up, we did a very similar fractal to what we're doing right now. So you see this top here, okay, I'm going to drop a marker on that for you, roughly that sort of price there, okay guys. So after this here, where we touched the EMA for the first time in this bull run, after making the previous high, just like we did in this bull run here, broke the previous high down here, went up, touched the EMA, okay. This level here is a little bit lower than what we're experiencing now. That was at 49k. So what I'll do, I'll drop that was at $4,900 just there, okay. So I'll drop a marker on there. This high here was a little bit lower. It's 42,000, okay. But you get the idea, okay, at the moment. So let's drop that on there like that. So that fractal. So the next high from there, it went all the way up there, and we made that high up there, didn't we? So we're going to drop a marker on that there, okay, and drop that there like that. So that got up to 58,364 roughly. So from this here, this went up, made all the way up there, made that high at roughly 59k, okay, at $5,946. But then we had a pullback from there. We had a pullback, bounced off the EMA there, and went up and made that new high just there at $6,200 in 2017. So immediately you can start to see that this fractal there, that's very similar to what we've had here. So then we went up. Let's move that over there. Okay, so we went up, bounced off the EMA, just like we've gone down there, bounced off the EMA, come up, and we made that new high there, 62. So we'll drop our current high on there, which is roughly up there at almost 62k. Look at that. So it's very close. These fractals are acting very close. So what we did there after that initial high, after that retest there, can you see the similarities, guys? Okay, it came down, we actually touched the 55 EMA, but then we surged up to that new high there, 58k, and then we had a little retest of the EMA, and then we made that new high. But after that, very similar here, we went up there, made that high, come back down, touched 55k, then bounced off the 20 EMA on the daily time frame, and then got back up, and then we made that new high. And what we did, we come down and we touched that 20 EMA on the daily time frame, and then we made a new high after that, and that new high was up there at roughly. So I know you shouldn't really necessarily look at past results to guarantee future results, but we could potentially be looking at a big impulsive wave, okay, after this minor correction here, testing the 20 EMA as we did here. You see this correction here? So we went up there, and then we corrected down, bounced off the EMA, okay, and then went up, broke that high again, We hit a little bit of resistance there, and then moved up all the way up to that high there, 7,899. So we could potentially be looking at a very similar fractal there, a very similar play, where we could push up to that 79k. So what we'll do, we'll mark that just there, just as a guide, guys. Okay, so we could potentially be looking at what we'll do, we'll copy this fractal. So we say we're looking at that potential there up to that new high there. We could literally be looking at something similar to that, where we're coming down, bouncing off the EMA, and we're going to go up, hit that previous high there as resistance, bounce around it before we push on up to that 79k. And it will be a very, very similar fractal to what we have seen here. And then after that, you're looking at a big correction there. That, I presume that's a 30% correction. So what we'll do, we'll look at that, guys. So that was in fact a big correction, yeah, 30% roughly, and that actually came back down and tested the 55 EMA again. So I know that the past results doesn't necessarily mean future results, but when you start to look at patterns and trading fractals, and you do see quite a lot of the time like a rinse repeat patterns in the charts. So this is a potential play right now. This is potentially what we could be looking at for Bitcoin. Okay, a very similar trading fractal and pattern as to what we've seen in 2017 in the bull run there, and compared to this bull run. So it's very interesting that she's brought that to our attention, because if that is the case, we could potentially be looking at a big dip there from there down to 31%. Say roughly that sort of area there. Okay, when we do hit that high, because I do believe we will hit that high, we are in a bull market. So what you could do, okay, we could potentially see the 55 EMA start to creep up here like this. That'll creep up like that, and then we will correct down to it eventually like that. Okay, make that red, and then we get this creeping like that. Just a guess, guys, you know what I mean? It's just, but what is really interesting is the fact that she's called this here. You're just adding a 0 on from a previous bull run. This fractal looks very interesting, because what she's saying is the bottom, the pullback here, is only to around 50k, 53k, and we've already had that test there. You know, from that high there, sorry, we've had that test where we come down, we're bouncing off the EMA, and that was the bottom at roughly 53k. I think she said it was just there, yeah. So 53,666. We've literally just had that bottom bounce off the 20 EMA on the daily time frame. So if this is the bottom there, we are now on our way to take out this previous high, this all-time high, sorry, at 61,737, and then push on up to literally almost 80k per Bitcoin before we get a 30% correction. Yeah, so you can see when we got up there, we hit a high, come back down, but then we made the new high. We may just hit that high there, but it does look good. I mean, looking at that fractal there, you know, it looks like it may possibly repeat. You know, definitely keep an eye on this retest of this 20 EMA, because if we bounce here and take out that high, I would be targeting a 79k Bitcoin based off this fractal from 2017. And then obviously from there, you know, we pushed all the way up to 20k, so potentially we could get to 200k, just as an idea towards the end of this bull run. So it's just something to look at. I know it's not an exact science, but it is a very, very interesting fractal. And the fact, like down here, okay, we didn't quite get to the 49k, but we did do a very similar reverse, come back down, bounce off the 55 EMA. And the thing is, we are a lot stronger in this time round. This time round, we are a lot stronger in this bull run because we've got institutional buy-in. Okay, and I could probably potentially see us push further than 200k in a very similar 20k rinse repeat there. Just times it by 10, because everything here that's happening, you just times it by 10 and it gives you everything that's happening over here, if you know what I mean. So it's very interesting. It's fascinating. I'm glad that Mariah Monetize brought it to my attention, because I've been looking at it and it could help us plotting highs and lows moving forward for Bitcoin in this bull run. So what we're looking for here, obviously, is a retest of this 20 EMA. Okay, the bounce that we got, and she targeted 53. I believe it's this target here. This one here was roughly, the bottom was 53,600 and something. and then a bounce off the EMA. Well, that's what we got. We got 53,000. I think the bottom that we hit was 53,600, and then we've had the bounce up, and you can see we're being put up already. We're nearly at 56k again. So obviously we got that up there, and then what we did, we hit the previous high, okay, which was that high there. So again, we could push up and hit that previous high at 58,213, get another rejection, come back down, bounce off the EMA. You can see the potential play with this ghost pattern that I've put in there. And yeah, so it's very, very interesting, guys. Please do share that. I hope you enjoyed that video, and also please head over to her YouTube channel, Mariah's YouTube channel there, and give her a sub, and make sure you get involved with her channel. Thank you, guys.